This is why tinnitus feels impossible to escape. And we need to put an emphasis on that word feels because it is a feeling. And feelings are not facts, though they feel like facts. When you're stuck in a feeling, it's usually caused by a thought. You have a thought, that thought leads to a feeling. This happens so fast, you don't have time to catch it. When you're in this feeling, this experience, it's a full blown hallucination to you, especially if it's a doom feeling, because you can think there's something deeper will be like, well, we can't, how can we be doomed? How can we be hopeless? Like, it can't just be that we're hopeless from a ringing, right? That's exactly how it was for me. It was like my mind was telling me, this is hopeless. You can't live like this. But there was something deeper that was like, no, what if that's not true? What if your own mind is not true? It's not telling you the truth, the whole truth. What if you can live like this? Like, what if you don't have to live like this? What if you're not always going to be like this? But then the feeling, it seems so real in that moment, right? It seems so like it was never going to leave. That that's what I was dealing with. And that's why we need to talk about this, because a lot of people that are in that state, they feel like it's impossible to escape because that's exactly how it feels. And the mind is very convincing at convincing you that things are the way that they are, or always are going to be the way that they are. When we come out of these experiences, right? It might be a temporary madness, or it might be a psychosis state, or it might be a depressive state, or a manic state, or it might be a brain fog from a traumatic brain injury, or tinnitus doom loop, or an existential loop, or whatever. The psyche is it's very complicated. It's very complex. When we come out of these, a lot of times we're like, wow, I can't believe that I was stuck like that. Like, I knew everything. I knew things were going to get better. Like, I knew that I could get better. But while I was in it, it didn't feel like it. And this is what we have to understand. So if you're in it right now, okay, you have to understand that the way you feel isn't isn't truth. Feelings aren't truth. So what you need to know is that how you get out of it is that you don't resist it. You don't argue with it. You don't try and fix it. You can't force yourself to feel better if you're not better, right? It's like trying to go to sleep. You can't force yourself to sleep. People that do that, they get stuck with insomnia. You have to just sleep is something that happens when you provide the right set of circumstances. You get tired, you rest, you don't have a lot of caffeine, you've had a good day, you've got a lot of work done, you've exercised, and the result of that is that you sleep, right? So if you've done all the wrong things, you've drank a lot of caffeine, maybe you drank a lot of alcohol, you laid around all day, you didn't have a good day, you're on your phone all the time, sleep is going to be harder, right? And it's the same with escaping the tinnitus loop. If you Google it, if you're looking on forums, if you're dooming about it, if you're listening to it, if you're building your life around it, if you've put your life on hold, you've done all the wrong things, then you know it's no surprise that it would feel even more impossible, right? That impossible feeling could last longer. On the flip side, if you practice reframing your thoughts, meditating on the sound, you know, rejoining your life again, even if you don't feel like it, getting up, eating, getting on with your life, getting back in the gym, doing things that you always did, and living as if you are already recovered, then you that person would be way more likely to get out of that loop and have that only be a temporary experience by not putting their life on hold. And so the reason it feels impossible is because a lot of times that feeling, when people feel, oh, this is impossible, they feel like, oh, I don't want to live now. I want to just lay in my bed. I can't live like this. I don't know what to do. I'm just so, I don't even want to get up out of bed. And then they lay in bed and they ruminate and they Google and they fixate over it. Then that feeling stays. because you're doing everything to keep that feeling from leaving. And so you have to do the opposite of what you're feeling, right? You're like feeling, I don't want to get out of bed. You need to get out of bed. I don't want to rejoin my life. You need to rejoin your life. Exposure therapy. Oh, I'm terrified of the sound. I want to stay away from it. We need to gradually practice desensitization and get you back and get you listening to the sound, exposing yourself. You need to learn to hear your tinnitus so that your brain can learn to tune it out. You need to learn to therapeutically listen to the tinnitus without freaking out. That's one of the things I practice in my application is meditating, grounded, taking a grounded approach and meditating on the sound so that your brain can treat it as something that it can tune out. You know, if you avoid it, that's just going to tell your brain it's a threat, and your brain is going to continue to focus on it. So it feels impossible, but that is just a feeling. It's not facts. Okay? It just feels like that. That's what you need to understand. And knowing that, I believe, takes away a lot of the suffering. If you know, okay, I'm stuck in a feeling, an experience, it feels real, but maybe it won't always be this way. Maybe there's things I can do to end this cycle quicker. You start thinking like that, and then your brain is going to be like, okay, well, how do we do this? What can we do? Is there a blueprint? Is there things I can do? Is there things that will help me? There are, you know? So if you found this video informative and if this really spoke to you, I want you to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to smash the subscribe button, and it really helps to get this information to as many tinnitus sufferers. Share this video with someone if you know they're dealing with tinnitus. If you want to try out my 7-day free tinnitus course, you can do a link in the description when you sign up for the tinnitus app at tinnitus.health. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, watching every video, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.